Are you sick?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, is that why?
I don't even want to be in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
you know what? It's calm. I will work through the sickness if I have to, if I catch it.
No, him.
I know. Yeah, I hear that.
That's why.
Nah, I'm not trying
That's why I was late. I was sleeping.
I just came back from being sick. I'm not trying.
Do you know what?
Sorry.
I don't even think that you can avoid sickness sometimes, bro. Do you know that? You know, like it's one of them things where it's like, oh, like stay away from me, I'm sick. But if there's one thing that we learned from COVID, yeah, like some people just caught COVID and then you were just around them and you just didn't catch it. But of course, sometimes you went around people and you did catch it. Yeah. I guess it's just about, if it's supposed to be your time, it's your time. Brother, you go on the train, you go on you're in a club, you're going to work, you're going to look at kids. If you got a youth as well, yeah, the youth's going to school, the youth's around fucking other youths, which is around their parents, which is around people that work or whatnot. Obviously, I'm not saying don't make precautions, but
you're saying if you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it.
It's a final. Have you ever seen Final Destination? You ever remember that? It's that. You can't avoid it.
I hate that film. That film made me paranoid about so many things.
It's mad, isn't it?
Roller coasters.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I should be admitting this on the podcast.
Do it.
Sunbeds.
What about it? Oh, you do sunbeds?
I don't do... Whoa. I don't do sunbeds. I've done a sunbed.
Right. I
don't do sunbeds though. But I might do one this winter. You
Why?
Can't relate to this because you got that nice... You look nice all year round.
I'll be honest with you. If
I get
you've ever
beige,
done it...
pasty.
If you've ever done it, it's never noticeable. And I always notice it. I always notice.
Nah. You wouldn't notice it. Because we might go a few months without maybe seeing each other in person, but you can't tell from social media like that.
Okay, swear. So
I'm
what?
telling you,
so sometimes you'll be in the sunbed thinking some mad shits about.
Have you ever seen Final Destination with a sunbed?
I haven't seen that one.
The one where the girls, they get on the sunbed together, and then a thing happens where the plank falls down, and then it locks them in the sunbeds.
Oh my God.
And then the heat, somehow the dial turns up, and then they burn to death, and then the sunbed explodes, and you see it's funny because they both they're naked, innit? And they both got silicone tits. And when they explode, you see the silicone fly out the thing. But what was fucked about it was you see the thing on fire, the two sunbeds. There's an aerial shot where they're both on fire. And then when it blows up and they die, the next shot is two coffins next to each other. And everyone's everyone's at the funeral. But that's what since then, yeah, when I've gone to a sunbed, I'm bare cautious about closing the thing. And
do you know what the maddest thing is? When I watched Final Destination, yeah, my caution went the other way.
What do you mean?
Because essentially, what Final Destination is saying is, you can't avoid it.
That's true.
If it's gonna happen to you, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I can't remember, I think I just saw Final Destination 1, yeah? And I can't remember exactly the thing, but I just remember every time the Don thought that he avoided it, there was something that just kept trying to lick him down or whatever, yeah? And every time he thought that he'd escaped it, he ended up just getting licked down by the smallest little thing. He escaped all the big shit, and then in the end, it just caught him, innit? So for me, it was kind of I watched that and I thought, yeah, this is a bit mad still. But it was more you know what? When it's supposed to be, it's just gonna be. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Don't not get on the plane. Don't not, because you know what? Let me tell you this.
People always think about that one, the plane one.
People, okay, hear this, yeah? Right. I'm not going to get on the plane because it's going to crash or whatever. All right, cool. You might be worried about that, but that might not be your story. However, if it is your story and you don't get on the plane, guess what? The plane will just crash into you then.
What? No, but do you know? Hey, do you know how I always counter the plane thing though? Do you know how I always counter the plane thing? I always say to people, yeah, why do you think the world revolves around you so much that all 100 other people are going to get dragged into your destiny? Just because you might think that's your destiny, there's another 200 people on this plane, that might not be their destiny. It has to be everyone's destiny at once to align and go at that time.
I've got a bigger one than that. I can extend it even more. How many planes is there in the sky right now?
Bare. There's a website where you can see all of them at once, innit?
So why do you think it's you? Because I always think to myself...
Yeah, but what about the people it did happen to, though?
I mean, that's the game is the game, isn't it? I know, of course. The game is the game. What I'm saying is that, the odds are a bit mad, though.
No, they are.
Like, how many times is a plane really crashing?
But this is where I start, it gets psychological though.
Go.
'Cause now I'm like, someone might play this back in a year, bro. This what we're talking about now. And one of
The
us
game
could be
is
in
the
one.
game.
One of us could be in one, and they be playing this back.
Yeah, but
Because I see what happened with PNB.
all right, okay.
PNB sitting there on the couch talking about a week later.
But what is that? Okay, this is good. This is a good conversation. What does that disprove?
What do you mean?
So, like, yeah.
I'm saying the tongue is a powerful thing. That's what I'm saying.
So what is people essentially saying that he manifested that?
I mean, that might be some people's view on it, because he was speaking about it a week before, and then a week later, literally, he died of the thing he was talking about.
I just don't think that.
So he's put it out there,
and I hear that, but I don't feel like manifestation works like that. Because if that was the case, okay, we do it from a negative perspective all of the time, yeah. But if that was the case, from a positive perspective, it doesn't just work like that. Oh yeah, do you know what? Boom, I'm sitting down, like I've got this mad aspiration to be a multi-millionaire, and then the following week you're a multi-millionaire.
But there might be examples of where that has happened.
Absolutely.
It might not be as simple as, oh, I got aspirations today to be a multimillionaire, and then it happens next week. That could be the thought you've been having for time, and then you've spoke to someone about it, and then now it's finally paid off, and it just managed that business you had struck gold that week later.
Yeah, but essentially what I'm saying is that these things don't happen unless you are moving accordingly to the way that you are talking as well. So you can't say, oh, do you know what, like, yeah, boom, flipping. Okay, for example, the PNB thing, yeah? You can't just say, oh, you know what, yeah, boom, shit is crazy out there, man, are getting shot, boom, 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 boom. And then, like, you just stay in your house and then you get shot. Yeah, I mean, maybe that can happen. But I think the actions on top of the words is what is the powerful thing.
100%.
Essentially, as bad as it was, it sounds like he was in the hood with his gal or whatnot, with some jewelry on. And these things happen in the hood these things happen to poor people in the hood every day.
But I don't think it's just a word or action thing as well. I also think there's an energy element that goes with it. The energy, I do believe the energy you're putting out there, where like we're in a cosmos where it does come back to you. Like, I do believe, like, that's the reason Tupac and Biggie are dead. I believe. These men are talking about death all the time. Ready to Die album, Life After Death. Tupac in every other song, death, if someone kills me, death. And then they're both dead.
Yeah.
To me, that's not a coincidence. That's the energy you're putting out there. It's the way you was carrying yourself, the things you were doing, the things you were talking about. That comes back to you, I believe.
Yeah.
If you're someone that doesn't go around with that energy and you move in quite a calm way, a good spirited way, the chances of something happening to you are a lot slimmer.
Okay. Angel's advocate now.
Go on.
I hear that and I'm fully with you. And I definitely 100% agree. I'm just looking at a different aspect here. You say the chances of that are very unlikely. It's very unlikely to happen, yeah? But how much people die through unfortunate circumstances every day in extreme ways, though? And I wouldn't say that they're moving with any type of energy. So, for example, let's say like religious war. There's so much collateral damage within religious war. So the energy that the two people or two groups of people are bringing to themselves, you could say that it's understandable if either one of them die because of the energy that they're putting into their belief system, yeah? But the collateral damage is still a life.
Of course.
And it's still thousands of people in the mix of that. So then what is that?
I believe it's, unfortunately, and this is just a theory, this is obviously...
Yeah.
I think when you're living in an area like a war-torn country, is that the example you're giving, or?
Yeah, essentially, you can use that.
Let's say a war-torn country. I feel like when you know war's going on, there's this energy of fear in the atmosphere. It's a place of fear, and I feel like that fear of death is always around because this could get bombed at any time, or something like this could happen. I feel like where that energy of fear is always about, that's kind of just going to be breeding in the atmosphere. That's why, like, for instance, right now, I got brethren like, oh, you going to LA? You know, we always go LA. Yeah. People are like, are you going to LA this year? I'm like, I don't want to go LA. They're like, why? I'm like, because it's dangerous. They're like, yeah, but if you move with... I'm like, nah, but when we were going LA pre-pandemic, it was a different vibe in LA. Right. It was just a different vibe. Right. it was a feel good vibe. You might go and get some weed, you might go to restaurants, you walk around wearing what you want, you could walk up and down Melrose, it was cool.
Right.
Now, LA, not even because you might not be moving, like, you might not be slipping or anything, but just the energy of LA feels fearful now because the locals...
I get you. So you don't want to be in the mix of the energy.
Yeah, because the locals are fearful right now. Like when you go there, it don't feel the same as before the pandemic. Now everyone's scared in LA of robberies and there's just that energy. When I went in last year in November, there's an energy there, bro. It doesn't feel like how it felt before.
Right.
And I'm a believer in those things. Like you go certain places. Like when I was in Jamaica, fuckery and stuff, but the energy I felt in Jamaica was beautiful.
Yeah.
When I was in the grill,
it
was just like, it was laid back. You speak to the rusters, just a nice energy. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, there's gonna be people watching this that will poke holes in everything.
Of course, but
that's just what I think, innit?
Do you know what? I think that's a good one. Still, I would say as well though, like our we do sometimes look at other places from a westernized point of view though, because I think that like, you know what? In some of these places, we would assume or make an assumption that there's an energy based on fear because that's what we would feel if we was them. But because our life isn't the same, essentially, what is not normal to us is normal to them. So their fear may not necessarily be that type of fear that we would assume. Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe there's
Nah, when bombs are going off, that's fear, bro. I don't care what life you're used to.
Yeah.
When your life is on the line and you have to live like that, that's a different type of fear, bro.
Yeah, I hear that stuff.
That's what I don't know, innit? Didn't you do
I've
like
never been there.
and you've been to one of them countries? Didn't you do a documentary in one of them places?
No. I've been to Lebanon. He went there when there was a situation that was happening there. I went there when there was like I went there at a time when there was flipping. They had finished war, but there was like still, you could still see like trucks all over the place where it was like almost ready to be kicked, where it was ready to kick off and that. But still, I mean, this is just my ignorance and that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I went there and felt unsafe though. Like it felt segregated. Like, so the difference between the rich and poor was massive. Yeah. But yeah, like even in me being inquisitive as well, you know, I'm going straight to the poor part and that as well and just having a little wander around or whatever. I didn't have a sense of feeling like fuck, like, do you get what I'm saying? This just feels super, super mad.
But you could even equate it to even just ends. Like, see, when there's beef in ends and bodies are dropping between certain areas,
you just don't want to go there.
Doesn't the energy in that area feel different? And I don't even think it's just because you know about it. I think the locals know, everyone knows. So there's that fairness, there's that like knife edge. Like, bro, right now certain places in West, it's sticky, bro. There's that little different air to it. Even when I was growing up in parts of North, like when beef was kicking off and it was very dangerous at certain times, the energy of the area just felt different. You leave the area and you go to another area like Highgate or Hampstead. Brother, it's just it's carefree.
There's nothing.
It's carefree. They're thinking, how can I get Waitrose? How can I go Gales and get a croissant? Like it's different, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying, bro? I can't explain it. I don't know if that's just in my head.
Do you believe in manifestation? Yeah.
I do.
And to what degree?
To every degree.
Okay.
I think if you really, really put your mind to things, you can. I don't think it's as simple, like you said, as speaking it into existence.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna do like affirmations all the time and obviously actions have to go with it, but I feel like that actions are part of the manifestation. I feel like you need a vision and then you implement the steps to get into that vision, but you keep a positive attitude and you keep thinking about where you want to go and you can go there. I feel like people like Jay and all these people that, you know, we use as examples that have become billionaires or whatever, I think they all believe in it and have all used it. I don't think some people like to give it to God, simply God, which I hear, but I don't think that you can just give it to God. I think it's got to be a combination of things. So like me, when I pray, I try to pray every night.
Who are you praying to?
God. I'm praying to God, but when I'm praying to God, I'm saying to God, help me to use my own source energy and the universe to get to where I want to go and do what I need to do. Because I feel like God's created everything. So I'm like, I feel like God, when I'm speaking to God, he can help me tap into energy and things around me to do what I need to do.
Right.
But that's just my personal.
Yeah. What's interesting as well is, I mean, this is probably might be a little bit over your head, and I know that you're not saying it as that, but like, I always find it interesting as referencing God as He. Why do you think? Where does that come from?
That's just society, innit?
Him being called the Father, innit?
So, but why is why is the Father the person that you worship? Why is it not the Mother? When essentially it's Mother Nature.
Because of the books. Because of the books. That's basically what you're saying, innit? In the books, it says, in the books.
I guess. And
Jesus Christ is God in male form.
God, whatever that is, would obviously understand that, like, it's not a he, but I get what you're saying to me, and I will do what. But I do think it's funny. That
What did I say? I was praying to him.
Yeah, you said.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you said to him.
See, it's just
so you have
head.
do you have? See, when you're praying to God,
yeah,
or to him,
yeah.
do you have like almost like? And be honest about this, yeah. Does it feel like you are almost praying to a male energy?
No.
See, that's the thing. I said to him, so you'd think I would think that, right. But I think that's literally just because of how I've been.
I don't
raised.
think there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
No, there isn't. But I think that's.
I'm
just
not
how
trying to do the
raised.
segment. I'm not. So don't try and put me in this. Oh yeah, Chucks is the feminist. No, I'm just unpacking. Yeah, right.
Well, you are a feminist, right?
Huh?
You are a feminist.
I believe in. Yeah, I guess
a feminist is someone that believes in male and female equality.
Absolutely. Then that makes me a feminist.
Yeah. So that's cool. But
remember, sometimes that equality doesn't always lean into the what like some people would like to feel a feminist would like to believe in. So, but if that's what you want to call it, then fair. Then
but you know what I think it also is why I say him as well is because like even my friend, I've never seen a therapist, and my friend that's doing therapy, she said if you go and see a therapist, make sure they're a male, because you're a male,
right?
And make sure they're from an ethnic background similar to you, because then when you're speaking to them, they can really truly understand what you're talking about or your thoughts. It doesn't make sense me going to see a white middle-aged female, because like although she can use logic and stuff to hear your conversation and stuff, there's slight biases that she just can't when you're coming with certain stories or certain backgrounds, she just won't be able to tap in fully on that level. And she's saying this to someone that saw, and she's Somali, she's someone that saw a white female and then she went and saw a black female, and she said she saw the difference in terms of her results. So, and I feel like that's the same when I'm praying. So like if I'm praying to a woman, I can pray to a woman, but it's like the things I'm talking to you about and the conversations, I don't know, maybe this is a personal conversation.
Then essentially you are praying to that. Then.
I think no, but maybe subconsciously to an extent. Yeah, like I don't know, because it's just that's the relationship you're having, innit?
Yeah.
I'm asking for things that maybe I believe someone like me could understand, and the conversations I'm kind of repenting for.
So we're gonna move on in a bit still. You know I like this. You see, like with the therapist aspect, yeah, I'm with that still. However, what I would say is that like sometimes I think where I've learnt the most, whether it be me speaking to someone who is like a therapist or just someone who is like good at like maybe tapping into me, what they've essentially done is they haven't given me advice. Okay. They've just asked me questions. And by asking me questions, the more that I'm talking, the more that I'm answering, or the more that someone's saying, oh, you know, like, but what about, have you thought about that? Or what happened when you thought about this? Or whatever it may be.
That is essentially what they do,
Yeah. So ultimately, I think for me, it would be better for me to find someone who is a lot like me that is able to do that. But I just think that finding someone that is highly skilled in being able to go down this rabbit hole with me to get to a root cause, I think that you can be from nearly anywhere to do that with me.
You think so?
I think so. I think it just makes, I just think that it makes it that percentage just a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, but for me to be able to relate to them, I think it just adds like a nice little percentage. So I don't know what that looks like. Now I've never done like proper therapy. I've met therapists though, and sat down and spoke with therapists, but I wouldn't say. And I actually like during lockdown, I spoke to a therapist when Peter was dying, but where I felt like it was a bit difficult was just that we were just talking on the phone, and I needed to be outside of my environment. I didn't want to be speaking to a therapist in the environment. I needed to come outside my house and go somewhere and then sit down and speak to that person and be able to do that. I couldn't really I'm sitting there and that, Peter's dead. There's just bare things going on, bro. I couldn't really do it. But the guy that I was talking to was an older white man, and he sounded really good. He just sounded really good, but I couldn't do it. And then I thought I'll do it afterwards. But luckily, my friends were just so good, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? My friends were so good.
Yeah, but I think even a lot of people, when they do it, it's not even just necessarily about like what your friends can do for you or help you in it. I think the whole point of it is that you're speaking to someone that knows nothing about you. So there's just absolutely no biases or anything involved. Like, no matter what happens, when you speak to your friends, they know you. Do you get what I'm saying? So whether they're just listening and asking questions or they are giving you advice or whatever it happens to be, it's always going to come from a slightly biased place, and whatever their biases they hold towards you. So whether that's deep down they really love you, or there's a little bit of envy there, or whatever it happens to be, they're never going to be able to just give you this complete stranger's opinion based on what you're telling them. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. And even from our perspective, we never really truly tell even our closest people absolutely everything. Do you get what I'm saying? The most deepest, darkest things. Like, sometimes you think you know everything about people you've known for 10 years, and there's things they have not told you out of maybe embarrassment or, you know what I'm saying, fear of being judged or whatever. You never
know 100% of your friends. Because the reality is,
especially your male friends,
you don't even know 100% of yourself.
No, but especially your male friends, because what I've noticed is the females I know in my life are way more likely to delve into their personal things to me than my male friends. But I will claim I'm closer with my male friends. But really, we just don't like to show the vulnerable sides of us as men.
I'll be honest with you. This is the exception for me. I'm incredibly lucky, bro. Because my closest friends, we have a different type of relationship. Like, I can talk to them, and I think, see, like what you were saying about the therapist aspect here, ultimately you're actually just right with that, because I think that when you're talking about, especially a wide range of things, or maybe even it could be a specific thing that maybe is just better for you to talk to someone that has that doesn't know, or has no opinion of you already. Do you get what I'm saying? In this context, it was so good to talk to my brethren, because you know what, it was good that he actually was there to see some of the things that I was going through at the time. But also, again, our conversation wasn't based upon advice, because even though that person might have seen, he can't fully 100% relate. But you know what, he can ask me, he just asked all of the right questions, and on top of that, sometimes just didn't even say nothing. Sometimes just listened. You get what I'm saying? And that was all I needed at that time. Later on, you know what I mean, like when it comes to talking about certain other things or whatever, it's so much better to do that. But like, I think I'm just super lucky in the sense that, like, if I rang my brethren, and let's be clear here, this isn't something that happens on a super regular basis, but if I rang my brethren and I was talking about something and I felt like I wanted to cry, I'd just cry, bro. Like, I wouldn't feel like I'm talking to the man. I'd rather just cry to a girl or whatever. I could just say, like, this is how I'm feeling. This is how this thing affects me. And I just know that when I'm talking to him, he's not looking at me like, Chucks, pattern up, my brother. And also on top of that, you know what? Do you know how many times I've spoken to my brethren on the phone and said, like, and I might be saying to him, I might be telling him something I think is just the sickest thing. And he's turning around to me and said, nah, bro, that's like, you can't, that's mad. But you said that. That's crazy, bro. Like, these times I'm thinking I've won the argument. So I'm telling my brethren, boom. Could you imagine? I said, and he's like, bro, nah, you should apologize, bro. Like, that's a mad move. That's a real friend as well. Yeah. There was something that I worked on once. I'm not going to talk about it here. But it was a project that I worked on. Well, not a project, but someone that I was talking to. And it was someone that was like, it would have been a big deal. And my brethren, I talked to my brethren about it, almost with a thing of like, oh yeah, like I'm doing this, and he just did not rate it. He didn't rate it. He just did not. He asked me a bunch of questions,
but I kind of need to know what the context of it is. Like, what were you speaking in?
But you know, like ultimately though, I don't even want to say all of that to say like, because most people, you're right, bro. I think a lot of people don't have a certain type of relationship with them. I just think it's so good to just talk to someone independent, fully outside of your circle, that you can kind of relate to or that relates to you. I think that's the thing, and we all should do that. You get me? We all should have that. That should
be. It's just expensive, isn't it, for some people? Like, it's true. For a lot of people, it's expensive. Like,
it's true.
It's a luxury, really, to be able to pay big money an hour and just sit down and just chat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why a lot of people avoid doing it. I don't even think it in 2022. I don't even think it's a stigma. Before it was like, oh, there's a stigma. You're talking to a therapist. Like, it was kind of like if you were talking to a therapist, something's wrong, or you're depressed, or it's not even that now. Like, there's bare people, affluent people, that just talk to a therapist just because they can get shit off their chest and it helps them actually think clearer in day to day, and they have the money to do it, so they just book it in like it's a yoga session,
right, true.
Or Pilates or something. You know what I'm saying? You know you got money when that just slides into your schedule as like something like that.
Isn't it interesting though that like some cost a lot more money than others?
Yeah,
that's a bit mad though when you really deep it, isn't it? Like, why is it that one therapist costs £50 an hour, but another one can cost £500 an hour?
But that's like saying, why does one barber charge this and why does one charge that?
That's still mad.
Some man got reputation.
That's still mad.
Or woman.
I think it's more about what
they offer,
what they listen, what they hear,
or what they hit. Nah, it's capitalism, man. And wait, wait.
I think some are just big boys in this. Some sell books. Some go on tours.
Selling books is capitalism still.
It just depends, innit? Like, are you some people are just starting out.
If you're hearing somebody like admit like some crazy shit, you hearing you want 50 or you want 2 bills, bro?
No.
It doesn't work like that.
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 Once you hear it, it's like, I'm not getting paid enough.
No, but you know what it is? Some of them just specialize in different things. Like, some of them will only exclusively do like suicide, people that deal with suicide and things of that nature. Then you got others that just deal with everything: anxiety, depression.
Yeah, but some.
Then you got some.
They're doctors.
Yeah, some though. Some are really cheap, which I understand the aspect of you're just starting out. Some are hella expensive, and that comes down to the fact that maybe they was a therapist for fucking John Travolta.
Yeah.
Or like someone like that. So then I understand that, and obviously there's a level to that because you're working in a certain field. Yeah, with a certain amount of wealth, so you're gonna, I guess, charge accordingly. I think there's a difference between a barber and somebody that is looking after your mental health, though.
Well, in terms of how you do your prices,
yes.
I just meant like if you're a known psychiatrist, you've got an office in West Hampstead, and you've been doing this thing for 30 years, then of course you're going to be charging 3-4 bills an hour, something crazy like that.
But some don't. Some's done.
Whereas exactly if you're a therapist and you're in your office on Tottenham High Road and you've been doing this for 2 years, because I'm not paying you.
No, but look at the examples.
The fact I'm even coming to Tottenham is dangerous.
You're giving extreme examples though, because there are some that are probably still in them areas, Hampstead, whatever.
Yeah.
That are like what we would say is reasonably priced.
Then they're rookies.
And then nah, man.
Then they just got out of uni. They just got the PhD, huh?
Maybe it's accessibility.
Maybe
the prices are low so that you can afford it.
I don't know.
I don't even know. I don't even know what the average price of a therapist is.
Yeah, no. I only mentioned that because I remember my brethren was looking for a therapist. She was really going through it, and it was so interested. Well, it was tough at the time watching her going through what she was going through. But I tell you what was really interesting was her meeting them, and just the price ranges was just mad. Like, one time she's telling me, oh yeah, she met someone 50 quid, whatever, boom, boom, boom. Then she told me she met someone else that is like £500 and whatnot. Then she's met someone else that is, and I'm like, right, like, this is, to me, it's interesting. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just interesting. Like, what makes it that? Like, if I got you both in the room, how would you justify it? We are able to, like, justify things in regards to like maybe our type of work, in regards to presenting or whatever, and the things that we offer, our skill set, whatever it may be. Also, you know, like social media following and that, these type of things help too. You can quantify it a little bit more. But us sitting and having a conversation, how do you quantify that?
I don't know.
It's interesting.
Also,
maybe someone will come in and explain it to me.
But also,
still.
I think, yeah, if you can see a therapist if you need to, and
100%.
also some people, listen, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but you don't need to see a therapist. You just need to get some money.
You're right.
No,
Exactly.
because you know it is. See, no, but
to get some money.
No, because I've been there. Everyone's been there at time. You know when that time in your life where you were broke, yeah? Life was hard. Yeah. You were depressed, whatever. The moment you got a new job or you got money, all of a sudden life just changed.
Right.
You weren't even upset no more.
Exactly.
Dark cloud was gone because your money was coming in. Oh, I needed to see a therapist. Life's hard. That's just disrespectful to people that are actually depressed. There are people that actually get money that are depressed. We're in the worst time of life for that type of shit, though. Do you know why? Because words get, like, literally, a word gets thrown around and then it's like, it becomes the word for a while, then everyone adopts this word into their life. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they're this. Yeah. Like, and this happens, like, even depressed. I mean, this is the common one, yeah? The common one. Depressed. Right? So now, there are some people that are really going through depression. Yeah. Like, in a serious way. Yeah. And then some people are like, just... They just don't like the cards that's been dealt at this point in time.
You know what? You had an argument with your whoever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? At work is not that great at the moment. I don't know. You're procrastinating a little bit, and you're not really happy with your start. You might not even know particularly where you want to go in life yet. You know, you might have a thing of you thought you wanted to do this, but now you realize you don't want to do it anymore, and you don't know what it is that you want to do. Now all of a sudden you're bringing this whole word on, and remember what we was talking about before, manifestation. Yeah. You keep saying this shit, you keep saying it, and then maybe, you know what? Not to say that it works like that, but if that's the energy that you're bringing around, putting around yourself, how are you getting out of it? How are you getting out of it? But yeah, I don't want to sound insensitive to some people that are actually genuinely going through it, because trust me, if there's anyone that understands that, it is 100% me, not because I went through it, but because I've seen it in strong ways.
Same.